Let me complete our thoughts today on tithing versus giving. The Bible teaches that the tithe is brought to the storehouse, which in today's world is your local church. You know, the biblical progression goes something like Cain and Abel took the tithe to God himself, and then the priest, then it went to the tabernacle, then it went to the temple, then it went to the synagogue, then it went to the church, which is the current era that we're in, and that's for the purpose of operations and running the church and the works of what God's doing through the church. So the tithe is your first tenth, 1/10 of your income goes to the church. And your tithe is not an offering, because an offering is you give as a free will, but a tithe is not giving. A tithe is returning or presenting to God what is his. Interesting that it says, as soon as we start to give, Luke chapter 6, it'll come back to us, pressed down, pushed together, running over. That's offerings, but that's not tithe. There's a difference there which we need to have clear in our heads. So whenever an offering is received, it's out of our desire. You desire to give an offering, so you give an offering. You can do what you like with an offering. And you can give it to anybody you want, whenever you want, however you want, how much you want, whatever it looks like. That's an offering, where the tithe is different. The tithe is God's, and we bring it back to him. I hear things all the time where it just makes me realize that people are confused. I hear things like, I tithe to the foundation of whatever. That's not a tithe. That is an offering, because it's going outside the local church. Or I tithe my time. That's impossible. You simply can't tithe time. You can offer it. It's an offering, but you can't tithe it. Or I give to X, Y, whatever it is, a charity or something is a part of my tithe. It's not a part of your tithe. It's an offering, because the tithe goes to the church. An offering can go wherever you want it to go. Or, I support X TV ministry as part of my tithe. Again, that is not a tithe. That is an offering. The tithe goes to the local church. Anything over and above the tithe, you do whatever you want with wherever you want, and that is an offering. So there's a need for us to understand this and not be naive about it, because a tithe is a tithe, an offering is an offering, and they are different. The tithe is God's. The offering is completely up to you. You do what you want with it. Can I ask you just for a moment to imagine how much more local churches across the globe could achieve if everybody understood that the tithe goes, 1/10 goes to the local storehouse of the church? I think there would be an abundance of resource to do everything that God's asked us to do, right across the board. The tithe is so important. How about pondering this? Have I got this sorted? Have I got the tithe and the offering and the difference sorted? Do I understand the difference? Do I practice the difference? Does the tithe go to the church and my offerings go anywhere else? See you next time.